All right, Jeff Zimmerman here with the GWOAT, two-time gold medalist, two-time undisputed, three weight class champion. How you doing, GWOAT?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Since you mentioned the gold medals, here they go.
I got a picture with you in those gold medals, by the way, at Cowboy Stadium when you came out here some years ago.
Okay. And you had said I was two-time undisputed. I'm three-time undisputed.
Three
One
times.
time, yep, I was one-time undisputed at 54, two times undisputed at 60. So it's two weight undisputed, but still three times undisputed though.
It's hard to keep track. You're just killing it
Yeah,
out there.
it's a lot of accomplishments.
Yeah, so listen, I know you're out in the UK and for Savannah Marshall, she seems to be following in your footsteps, signing with the PFL and making her pro debut. Talk about that a little bit.
Um, from what I've been seeing and hearing, I'm her pure motivation for that. She couldn't beat me in boxing, so now she wants to try me in MMA. That's the whole narrative that's been through around, and I'm actually here to hope. I'm hoping that she wins tonight, and I just want to see her fight MMA just like I did. So she's fighting MMA under all the MMA rules, and we we will see how she come out tonight. But yeah, she's definitely following in my footsteps, and she just wants to beat me at something. So, you know, if she wins tonight, or rather she loses, she's still going to be looking for a fight with me inside the cage. And everybody know I would street fight Savannah. I would fight Savannah in MMA. I'll fight her in boxing. I'll race against her in track. I beat her in checkers and chess. Whatever she want to do, I can I can beat her in. But I guess she wants to keep trying until she gets a W somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this interview though, Claressa. Usyk was on the three knockdown rule with Steve Kim and Mario Lopez, and he talked about training in MMA during his boxing training camps. Like he does grappling, judo. You need to go check it out. And it talks about how it
Usyk?
helps you. What's that?
Usyk does?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's pretty impressive. He just did the interview this week, and he talks, helps him with balance, inside, like with his hooks, with his punches. So I was wondering if you've seen any difference in boxing, while you've been training in MMA.
You know, I hate this question because it's like I'm giving away something to you that people don't know. But um I see the full body now in boxing. At first, I used to only be paying attention to the shoulders. Wherever they move up here, I can kind of dictate my moves. Now, with MMA, since I've had to condition myself to see the full body of a fighter because they're throwing knees and kicks and stuff, and they're making all these weird movements, now my eyes have widened in the boxing ring. Even if somebody is close to me, I can still see their entire body, which I don't like that because I feel like if somebody does something with their feet in boxing, they can't do anything with their feet except move, right? And I can navigate that by looking at them. But now in boxing, I see the full body, like the knees, the legs, everything. And that's not something that it's not a gift that I used to have until I started MMA. And then also too, MMA is a lot of cage work, and the grappling and the frames and all that stuff. And I've added it to my boxing game, to be honest with you. So when a girl is holding me and the ref hasn't broken it up yet, I know how to do a few frames to open up some shots and get some stuff in there. And I didn't know how to do that at first from just boxing. So I've added that to my boxing game from MMA.
That's impressive, and thanks for sharing those secrets because there's a lot to it. I mean, to go from and then for you to switch back and forth, how hard is that to go from what? Because the stances are different. Like you said,
Yeah,
MMA, you got to watch out for the feet and et cetera.
fans are. I mean, like the stance is different, the movement is different, but mentally, I just always tell myself that I'll never forget how to box. When I get inside the ring, I'm going to do what I do best. So it's been hard to change my stance from boxing stance in MMA. But when I do it for months, at least I know when I'm doing it. And like my coach sometimes yells out like, you're in a boxing stance, get out of it. So when he yells that, I'm like, okay, let me widen my stance, and because I got to be able to be agile and catch kicks and things like that. So he yells those things out constantly when I'm in camp for MMA. But in boxing, I just go back to the same stance, same stuff that I do, because I've been doing it for over 17, 18 years now. Right. So it's hard. That's the only part that's hard about going back and forth, is just that MMA still is hard. Like, I went back and forth to do boxing and MMA, then boxing and MMA again. And it's like every time I come back to boxing, I'm still the greatest. And then I come back to MMA and it's like, you're still a beginner. You're still a novice. Like, come on, like when do we learn how to stop a takedown? Like, you've been doing this for 2 years now. Pick it up.
Right. Well, boxing for you is like riding a bike, but
yeah.
Listen, I don't want to forget though, you got a big fight coming up. You're going up to heavyweight. I mean, what you're doing is unheard of in boxing, period, women or men, going up against Vanessa LePage Joanisse, July 27th, I believe, back home in Detroit. Talk about that fight and what made you want to go up to heavyweight and to get another title, I presume.
Daring to be great. I called out Natasha Jonas at 154. I called out Terry Harper at 154. Those girls just did not want to fight me. It's all talk on the internet, but when we get to sending out contracts and shooting out emails and our promoters are talking, these girls don't want to fight. They don't want to fight the GOAT. So I've conquered all the girls at 160. I beat the girls at 168. It wasn't nowhere else to go but up. So now we're here at heavyweight. And the heavyweight girls were kind of like, Claressa's the biggest girl down there, but they were kind of like, oh, but she's scared to fight against us. I'm like, scared to fight against y'all because y'all weigh more. Like, I was fighting heavyweights back when I weighed 147 in the amateurs. Like, what are we talking about? So I am daring to be great, just like Roy Jones did. He went from cruiser, I believe, or was it light middle? Was middleweight?
I think he started at middleweight.
So same thing. He went from middleweight to heavyweight. I'm going from middleweight to heavyweight in the women's division. So I'm just daring to be great like Roy Jones, and I want to come out on top. And then after this, I'll be a 4-time division world champion. And that's all that really matters to me, is to keep adding to my resume and just proving the doubters wrong. I've seen so many comments where they're like, oh my gosh, she's biting off more than she can chew. These girls are heavyweight. She's coming from middleweight. These girls are going to smash her. And I just want to prove all them wrong. And I definitely want to prove Vanessa wrong first. And then probably after her, Lonnie Daniels, because she's popping her stuff saying that she should have been next. And it was like, we offered you to fight first. So what are you talking about? So if these heavyweight girls want to get handled, they can get handled, but I'm not scared of nobody, and I'm not scared to come up 2 weight classes. It means nothing to me. I'm going to come up. I'm going to dare to be great, and the game plan is to come out victorious and just continue being the greatest woman of all time.
Does this kill any chance of you fighting your new arch rival, Alycia Baumgardner, because you're going up?
That's not my arch rival. She's not shit to me. She's not nothing. When we talk about heart and stuff like that, she's fighting Delphine Persoon in Costa Rica in August, I believe. And she's the undisputed champion down there, even though she just beat her PD case or whatever the case may be. And she's putting up 1 belt for the fight. That's not the type of undisputed champion that I can even relate to. Anytime I fought and I've been in a weight class where I was undisputed, I put all my belts up. The difference is she's putting up 1. So I'm not about to call a 130-pounder who hasn't earned the right to have her name mixed in with mine. I'm not about to give her that chance. So after I fight at heavyweight, I will be going back down to middleweight possibly, and I'll be defending my undisputed championship there. And if the girls at 154 want to fight me, I will fight them. And if a huge opportunity comes at 147, I will bust my ass and go down there. But She is not arch rival or whatever you just said. She's not that to me. She's an arch rival to Katie and Amanda. Them, those are the smaller girls. Me, she ain't no arch rival. She's a hater.
Yeah, fair enough. Thanks for that, Claressa.